there, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the Queer Quarters. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm joined by our two co-hosts,
Nivea.
And I'm Ashley, and in today's episode, we will be talking about the challenges that LGBTQ plus individuals face when they come out. We know that coming out can be a daunting process, but it doesn't have to be.
We'll be sharing our own experiences and offering some advice to help you all come out in a safe and comfortable environment.
So guys, I actually have something to tell you. I'm gay.
We know.
And how did you come out?
So I didn't really have that much of a coming out experience. For me, started realizing and thinking, I actually like guys. I don't really have an attraction towards women. And, I started realizing this around the age of 12, and I was like in 7th grade. I didn't really have any friends at the time, or at least any real friends that were close that I'd consider. I did make more later after coming out, but for me, I didn't really know who to tell or who to talk to because I was like that friend group bunny who hopped around with every fake group because, no one really was my friend group. No, I didn't have my own friend group. I didn't have people to hang out with and people that I would talk to on a daily basis that I was close with. And I think that greatly affected how I came out because there wasn't really anybody I trusted, but there also wasn't anybody that I didn't really not trust because everyone was fake around me. So being that young of an age, I kind of just thought everyone's my friend. I later found out that's not the reality, of course. And I know that even more now, being 17. But, I kind of just told this one girl, I think I might be gay. And she started telling people around the school. So, you can say I got outed. I wouldn't really call it outed, but it is outed. The school didn't really act negatively towards it. A lot of people actually really didn't care. It was more of me trying to act about it that kind of pissed people off more. I didn't know how to express myself. I started, don't even get me started. I got a side part. An atrocious side part. People used to call me James Charles.
No.
And, people called me James Charles. That was I had
look,
a bad
Jason.
side part. And I had hair that grew down to my chin. I let it grow out that long.
You just wanted to be out there.
And I think I was around my tie-dye phase too. But, for me, I didn't really know how to express myself and how to properly come out. So I wouldn't say I had a bad experience. It could have been better. I just within the month of kind of thinking about it, I might actually be into guys. I kind of started telling people and it got around and it became this big thing that I was the gay boy. And I think there might be people that can relate to it. There might be people that relate differently or whatever. But for me, that was my experience. What about you guys?
Well, in 2020, I came out, and I think that was one of the biggest things in my life.
So it was pretty recent.
Very recent. And one of my best friends, it's she was my gay awakening. Well, she was my gay awakening. And I think I wouldn't change myself the way I am now. And I never realized I liked women until her and I started getting close and all that stuff happened. And I'm like, okay, wow, this must be real. This is how I actually feel. And I didn't know how to tell my parents because I didn't know if my mom was going to be mad at me or not, or my dad, because especially on my dad's side of the family, my grandfather went to church every single Sunday, and he was homophobic.
Got raised by a really
Catholic?
It was huh. So I'm like, okay. So I posted something on my Instagram story. Jazz Jennings, the transgender woman, she was posting something about how they weren't going to hire people that were part of the LGBTQ community.
Around that time
it was, yeah. And I made a post on it on my Instagram story. I said, this has to stop. This is not fair to any of us. And my mom saw it. And the next morning, she asked me, she's like, Ashley, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure. She's like, are you gay? I said, I don't know. Maybe. Is that a bad thing? She's like, absolutely not. She's like, you're going to love who you love. And I'm going to love you for the way you are no matter what. And later that day, I was really thinking. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I do like girls. And she's like, that's okay, honey. That's perfectly okay. And then I remember she got me a flag. She got me the lanyard for the LGBTQ, and it was so nice.
Okay,
and
merch.
then it was more, now me wondering, how am I going to tell my father? Because I didn't know how he was going to react. So I decided to play a dumb part.
Your biological father, right?
Yes, my biological father. Well, Dennis knows, and he's okay with it. He doesn't care.
Just so that people know, Dennis is not her biological father. Dennis is,
my mom's fiance. Yeah. So I FaceTimed my dad, and I had the pride flag in the back. He's like, you're gay. I'm like, who said that? He's like, the flag. You're gay. I know it. You like women. I'm like, is that a bad thing? He's like, absolutely not. He's like, I kind of had a feeling. But, you
It
know,
was the
he's like,
slit in the
he's like, hey,
eyebrows, I
he's like,
swear.
he's like, I don't care if you get married one day, if you get married to a dude, married to a woman. I just want you to be happy. And the funny thing is, shout out to my brother for this. He always used to make jokes with me like, "Oh my God, you're so gay. You're so gay." And he didn't know. And then once he knew, he was like, "Oh damn." He's like, "Now I feel bad for making those jokes because now it's true." But everyone in my family is so supportive of it. And even my stepmom, she's bisexual. So I can connect with her in ways that I don't think I can connect with anyone else, really. And especially, you know, like, I have friends that are part of it too. And it's, you know, it's sometimes it's really hard because you don't know how people are going to react.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be good, it could be bad. And if people don't want to accept it, okay, that's fine. But, you know, that's my life. I'm happy with it. And that's how I'm going to live. Neve, how about you?
Honestly, I think for me it was a little bit weirder due to the fact that I knew I was bisexual at a very young age. I found out around like second grade, summer camp. Shout out to that girl that I made out with under a bleacher.
Woo!
Okay, T.
But yeah, I saw a girl, you know, back in the early 2000s, we were able, like, it was very open to change in front of, you know, your same-sex partner or your friends and whatnot. I saw boobs for the first time and I was like, oh man, I think I like them. And I had my first kiss because, you know, also back then, earlier 2000s, I'm talking about, it was so open to kiss your friends. Like, as girls, it was a normal thing.
Yeah, it was a different time.
But I kissed her and I felt feels. And it wasn't back in my town, like, being gay or bisexual wasn't a huge thing. It took me a while to come out to my mom. But it was difficult when I came out to school. I think I came out to my friends before my parents. And I moved to a whole new town as a bisexual girl, okay? And it was very difficult because I knew from videos that men see, you know, bisexual women as, oh, I could probably, you know, have a three-way with them because they like that. So
Yeah, I think there's a contradictory there with like how guys see it with women,
Yeah.
whereas it's viewed with men. It's in its own way a unique contradiction.
Yeah, like there's like so many things out there. It's like they'll be like, oh yeah, like a girl and a girl in the same bed, it's cute. But then if two guys are in a bed, it's gay. You know, like some towns, like they don't care or anything.
yeah, it's not a big thing.
Certain areas it's
yeah,
different.
I remember definitely, like, really quick in senior year for me, I was talking to my friends, my best friends, who know I am bisexual. And these two people decided to listen into the conversation, only hear me say that I'm into women, but I'm also into men. And basically they decided to go around the whole entire class and be like, Ashley's gay, stay away from her. And it was a whole debacle.
That's
like,
another
it was
thing in
huge.
certain towns or certain areas is how women are like, or especially men, like men liking men, they're like, oh, be careful how, you know, you talk to this person, you know, try not to say any of that because they might
That was
hit
my
on
biggest
you.
fear. That was my biggest fear coming out because like you didn't want kids to like look at you differently and act differently around you just because you liked the same gender. That was the big thing. It was like, you know, I never had guy friends. I never really hung out with guy friends. I
feel like that's also another big thing about
for
being
gay guys,
gay.
yeah, like a lot of gay guys do relate to mostly having girlfriends because like, you know, it just like, not to be stereotypical about it, but a lot of gay people are seen to have more of those feminine traits, but we do have those masculines. It's just the way they kind of interlock.
But getting into that, like, we also have to realize a lot of it is influenced by television. But also, how many chick flicks do you see that a gay guy is chilling with guys or like not conversating with a girl like, oh, let's do this, let's do that?
It's because the generational idea that men are supposed to be manly and supposed to be like these tough guys that are supposed to, you know, do all the work and not acknowledge their own emotions and things like that. That is why I think a lot of gay guys hang out more with girls because they're a little more emotional. They're a little more touched in with their feelings and more, you know, aware of how they feel and who they are, because a lot of guys don't talk about their feelings. A lot of guys aren't open about it. And being a gay guy, that is the worst thing because you're going through so much that you don't even understand, because in a world that being gay or being lesbian or being bisexual, being pansexual, whatever it is that you are, you're in a world where it's not educated. It's not put out there to learn about. So you have to resort to social media. You have to resort to online, and you avoid certain groups because the way the generations have made these groups, act and have this mentality of how we should act. And, hanging out for me, like hanging out with those stereotypical straight guys and the jocks and whatnot, I do get uncomfortable because it's like, the way we've seen it in the past, obviously it's gotten better, but, you do see that still a lot today. A lot of guys are still all about being the man and acting all this manly and being dominant. And that's just why gay guys hang out more with girls, because they do get overly emotional, but it's so much easier to express your emotions with girls than it would be with straight guys, because they don't allow themselves to express their emotions. So it's like talking to a brick wall. When someone doesn't understand how to express their own emotions, you can't feel comfortable expressing your emotions to them. It's not getting through, and all everyone wants is to just have someone listen to them.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but those stereotypes, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, because a lot of the times they are accurate. And, I think when it comes to this, manly stereotype, it's still accurate to this day.
Yeah.
Not as much as it used to be, obviously, but, there's still this idea in society that a man's supposed to be with a woman and supposed to do all this stuff. So when you have gay guys, they don't really want to hang out with that group because they don't want to feel uncomfortable and out of place, because those guys are going to make comments like, why are you dressed like that? Why are you here like that? Why are you acting like that with us?
I feel as though it's the same thing as bisexual women, due to the fact that we do get a lot, like, hanging out with straight women. It's like, oh, are you sure? Like, oh, how am I supposed to dress in front of you? It's a lot harder to communicate with another straight woman due to the fact that the fear of, do they think we're going to hit on them? Do they think we like them? It's like, bro, relax. You're not even that attractive to me, girl.
Yeah, like how you were saying about, like, hanging out with women. I think it's just more of, like, a comfortability thing for men. Because, like the stereotypical people, like, the year that I was graduating high school, like, a lot of the girls there didn't want to hang around me because now they knew. And especially there was even guys there who were like, oh, Ashley's what? Literally said it out loud, and this person knew I was there. And I ran into the bathroom, I freaked out, and but the people that are comfortable with me actually helped me out. And I know for a fact that in my grade when I graduated, I knew there was a bunch of people that were either bisexual or lesbian or gay.
But I feel like in our town, especially, not a lot of people come out.
They're so judgmental here.
They're insecure. A lot of the people in our town are insecure. And that's why, oh, you like me, or you're just going to like me or whatever. Don't hang out with me. Like, I hear that. I used to hear that. I haven't heard that anymore. Ever since I became like the popular gay and people started to act differently,
It's more of like a fault, like once someone else comes out, then someone else comes out. Like, stop being a follower, be a leader.
That's exactly what happened to me. So I officially came out to the middle school while I was in middle school, switching schools in like maybe 5th grade. I finally wanted to come out to people who I am after,
Well, we love you for who you are.
But honestly, after that, all I got was, oh, how do you feel about this, that, and the third? If I hooked up with this girl, or do you think this girl is cute for me? And I'm like, why? Like, what is so important that you need my opinion for you? And then after that, somebody came out as transgender, somebody came out as bisexual. Oh, I'm gay. It's like, what was so important for me to come out to help your process? You should be doing what you need to do for you and do it when you're ready.
I think they're just scared.
It has to go with insecurity and the environment they're in. When you see someone else do it, it gives you this like, oh wow, they did it, I can follow them. And that's not necessarily a bad mindset.
No,
you want to be a leader,
but
you definitely want to be a leader. It's okay to be a bit of a follower, but you need to come out in your own way, on your own terms, in your own comfortableness, and on your own time, because you don't want to force yourself. We live in a world where we wish we didn't have to come out. We wish it was just like a normal thing. I mean, you don't have straight people go to their parents and go, we're straight,
It's basically,
it shouldn't.
This way.
Kids from a young age should just instantly be given like books about more non-binary characters, where it kind of shows more of a equal division, where you see two dads, you see two moms, you see a boy and a
See,
girl,
but
you
that's
see
where we're
a
getting
single
into
mom,
the
you
whole
see a single
different thing,
dad.
because we all know about like the whole laws that are going around and the
The
whole
book banning and everything. That's
and
insane.
how some teachers are like, yeah, let's start this like K-8, start teaching them about that, and these parents are like, no, let's not do that. Don't corrupt my children.
But it's not corrupting them.
It's teaching
just-
them.
yeah.
It's teaching them. It's educating them, because there are different people in this world. There are different people in this world that live different lives. And
I
different
do
experiences.
believe we shouldn't teach them at such a young age, like kindergarten.
We should teach them at an age where they can actually understand and develop their feelings have to be developed.
Their emotions have to be already developed for them to truly understand what's right and what's
Yeah.
wrong. Because when we don't teach our kids this, we create more hateful environments, and
Exactly.
we can't have that. More people die, more people get into depression, more people don't want to come out and don't want to be
Yeah.
themselves. Shout out to the dog in the background. He's mad right now. It's okay. He's like, I'm gay too.
I didn't get my coming out story.
But I also think that it should be a lot easier to come out to our partners on, our sexuality. Honestly, when I first came out to my recent partner now, it got as if it was a lot different, because now he was like, oh, now I don't have to worry just about guys. I have to worry about girls. So every female friend I hang out with, it's so, do you like her? Do you think she's attractive? Would you hook up with her?
See, I think that's the thing. Like with me, I am bisexual, but I'm more into guys. So every single time it's like I have to explain to people, yes, I'm bisexual. I don't have to have feelings for every single girl I meet or know.
I exactly feel the same way how you do. Like, yeah, I go out with my man and I'm like, hey, do you see that girl? You think she has a nice butt? Like, that's fine. And then I've had these conversations with him as all good relationships should do, is like set boundaries. My boundary is I don't think I'd be okay with, letting another person into our bed life.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with, yeah, I like doing stuff with a girl, but I'm not comfortable sharing my man.
Like it's like your self intimate experience.
And then we had a conversation about that, and he seemed all happy for it because, oh, I have a bisexual girl. I can probably get into this first time experience. It's like, you just played yourself.
I hate when people say that. I hate when guys
I
do that.
can't do it. I cannot. If I'm in love with my partner and I know this partner's for a lifetime, I don't think I could share, even if I have that, level of love, likeness to another gender.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like if I'm dating someone, like I'm not gonna bring someone else in and then have it possibly ruin it. It's
Yeah.
like if I'm with you, I'm with you.
But think about it. When you ask a man, hey, yeah, you want to join in bed with another female? If we do that, for the next time, let's get another man.
Oh, and they'll hate it. They'll go crazy.
They will.
It all goes back to insecurity. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the lack of knowledge and lack of education on it. It you know, they're not aware and they don't fully understand what it is.
But Jason,
But
so how is your experience? I was gonna ask because on that aspect, you are already with
I'm
the
fully
man.
gay. For me, I can't relate to you guys, but sadly with gay guys, with all the gay guys I have talked to.
I mean, you've even tried bisexuals. Like, how was that experience? I know that with a man would probably be a little bit more different.
I don't necessarily worry that the person I'm talking to is trying to get with someone else. Obviously, if I find out they are, then that's a problem. But for me, I try not to obsess over that because it leads to unhealthy trust issues that will deteriorate the relationship. So I try not to overthink about that. I overthink about other things like, do they really like me? And are they ignoring me? Are they upset with me? Especially when we're not a thing. But
I do the same thing.
Oh my god, you guys are Delulu.
Delulu, Delula.
I
Delulu.
can't not agree with that. Like
I think, I'm not trying to say this to be full of myself, but I have heard from a lot of other guys, like, I feel dumb talking to you, like, you're so out of my league, or, I feel like you're talking to other people behind my back and whatnot, and, things like that. And for me, it's dumb. I find it dumb and it pisses me off. And it honestly gives me an ick because I like my men to look good. I do. I think I look like a pretty...
Because if your man, if your person looks good, you look good too. Like
the two gods. But, you know, I in my own eyes, you know, I get told by Neve that my men are not that good looking, but...
he does not have good choice. If you guys would like to, you know, try and dabble into that, I will be taking people
requests.
I'll be taking requests. We'll be doing speed dating through me, and I will have to, you know, clarify it first.
I'm so about vibes. Like,
yeah,
if
I like
your
a good
personality,
connection.
I know, like, there's a reason why I try not to hang out with people within the first month of talking to them. I want to build some sort of understanding that you're a real person. You are who you say you are. Your intentions are real. Because the reality of it is I do play a little bit of chase and chaser because, you know, if they do really want to talk to me, if they do really want something healthy, they will take the time to try to build that connection. Whereas if they don't, and they just want sex and they just want, you know, my body or whatever it is that they want, they're going to try to rush into it. And when they realize I'm not rushing into it with them, they're going to back away. They're going to maybe try to get aggressive and try to force me to rush into it, or, you know, start pushing away and going to other things. And I'll realize that I'm like, okay, so this person isn't for me. Hey there, listeners of the Queer Quarters. We just want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in and listening to our podcast. We love hearing your feedback and interactions, and we couldn't do it without you. If you enjoyed the podcast and want to support us, please share it with your friends, family, and on your social media platforms. Additionally, if you're feeling generous and want to help us cover the cost to keep the podcast running smoothly, you can donate through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Every little bit helps, and we appreciate your support. Now sit back and enjoy the rest of this episode. So, how do you guys think that, you know, coming out affected your other relationships, like with your family and your friends mostly?
Well, I really don't tell my mom, but like stuff like that, because it's like, because I don't even know how I feel yet. I need to figure out like how I feel about this person and to know if it's like, okay, is this going to go a little bit farther? You know, like I have to think about all that first before I go tell my mom. Because then, like, what if, like, one day it just all goes, like, really downhill, and then I have to tell her all that, and I don't want her to go, like, on the roller coaster with me, and it's not fair to her. My stepmom, she's always asking, like, oh, how's your love life? I'm like, same thing, like, it's just normal, but I'm pretty open. If it comes to someone I like and I do have feelings for, I think my mom definitely knows when.
I feel like parents always know when it's, like, the person.
Like, when I used to like this one person, my mom was like, oh, you're hanging out with them a lot. And she was like, you must really like them. I'm like, I do. I'm pretty open with my dad, too, about it, because he's pretty supportive of me. He was like, I just want you to be happy. I don't care who you're with, but I want to make sure you're with someone who's going to, like, treat you right and actually, like, want to be with you. The one thing I've learned that is definitely a good thing to hold with you forever is, in order to love someone else, you need to love yourself first.
Amen.
That's the most important thing. And I even have that. I wrote that down on a piece of paper, and it's on my closet door. Every day I'm trying to find something that's different about me. Something that I'm like, oh, I didn't see this yesterday. Never seen it before, but you know, it's something new and I love it. And I teach myself things that I never thought I'd be able to do. And I think those are my accomplishments that I'm proud of, and that gives me more self-love. And then hopefully I can put that on to other people and to kids and to teenagers and adults and be like, love yourself first.
You know, for me, Ashley, I relate a lot to what you just said. I found out, and I always hear from my therapist and whatnot, no matter how much anyone loves you, it won't matter if you don't love yourself. And I found that out with the hard way with my parents. You know, when I wasn't really sure who I was when I came out, I wasn't really comfortable really when I came out, but I still told them because I felt like we had a bond. I felt like they loved me. I felt like they would understand. But telling my dad at 12 years old, I think I'm bisexual. And yeah, I did come out as bisexual actually first. I didn't come out as gay. I came as bisexual first because you want
to like test the waters and see what
I
it's like.
Yeah, I didn't really know. So I started out bisexual because bisexual had less of a stigma than, gay. And I told him, and he was like, I sat on the bed. I said, Dad, I want to talk to you. I think I'm bisexual. And he's like, you're too young to know what that is. You're too young to know how you feel and whatnot. You're a boy and you're going to like girls. And, that for me, being that young, being that little boy, being so vulnerable with your parents, thinking that they're going to support you and they're going to appreciate you, it killed me. It honestly damaged me. Trying to dress a certain way, putting a hair tie in my hair as a joke. My dad was like, oh, that's not for you, that's for girls. And things like that, it really got to me. It got under my skin because I wasn't comfortable with who I was. Like I said, I was just experimenting, you know, how my fashion was and how I want to express myself. And I still am to today. I still experiment with how I want to dress and how I want to style myself. And it does change. You know, you're never, and I said this in my other podcast, there's never that moment where you're fully aware of who you are. You're always learning more every day about who you are and how you feel. And you're always learning more new things about yourself and what you're into and what you like and what you don't like and other things like that. And, you know, that plays a big role in coming out because it helps you grow as a person and your sexuality over time. And, you know, me and my parents have had our own differences on, you know, me being gay, a lot of stuff that I can get into, you know, but the main point is that for them being heavily Catholic and, you know, me being the only boy in the family as well with 2 sisters, it was heartbreaking for them that, you know, their only son is gay. And
You do carry, you know, the last name and everything, so
exactly,
they were expecting a different outcome.
you know, my dad told me I had this whole future planned out for you in my mind. And it kills me that, you know, and you're not living up to it. And it killed me to hear that because as a kid, all you want to do is make your parents proud. So feeling like you're not worthy enough of your parents' attention and your parents' love and support, it really does a lot to you as a kid. You know, being that young and not fully understanding. There's other people who waited to their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s to come out. You know, they are so scared and hiding that they don't want to ruin that relationship with their family. You know, you're lucky, and I hope you know you're really lucky, Ash, to have a mother that was there to open her arms to you like that, because a lot of people don't. And it's hard for those that don't, because you get in this very vulnerable state where it's, I'm opening myself to you, so do not hurt me.
Yeah, I didn't know how my mom was going to react at all.
I didn't really come out to my mom until like 4 years of knowing. But when I did come out to her, I was so nervous that I waited and asked if she wanted a second margarita. I just wanted her to kind of forget about it, and she did. Like, this girl is a light drinker, I'm telling you guys. She ended up forgetting about it, and then she kind of finally realized, I believe, I was probably a freshman doing my freshman fun things, and I had a girlfriend over at the time that she thought was a very good friend, and she walked in on us, and to her biggest shock, she was upset. Oh my God. She was like, my little girl, are you really kidding me? Are you serious? Had the girl leave and everything, like nervous as hell. And from then on forth, it was very awkward between me and her, but eventually we were able to kind of have her forget it. But it's kind of sad. Like, she only sees me as straight because, you know, I have only ever introduced her to males. And for me, it's like, I'm not just that person that, like, I have a better connection with men. I like women. I understand women. I would have loved to have a girlfriend if, you know, they gave me a chance when they had the chance. But y'all missed out. I swear, y'all missed out. For me, it was a lot, as a female in general, it's a lot easier to, you know, get a guy.
Yeah.
Than to, like, find
Oh, because they're everywhere.
girl.
They're everywhere.
What is this, like Build-A-Boy?
They're like dumb and clueless. You can pick them up right off the street.
But, you know, especially in the area we're at, not a lot of people are out like that. I don't even think a lot in Jersey. Like, at least I don't know a lot of people in Jersey that are
I know a
out
lot of
like
gay
that.
guys.
Yeah, I know a lot of gay guys too, but what bisexual or lesbian women do I know?
They're a little more quiet about who they are.
Yeah.
They really are. You don't, I wouldn't say they're in hiding.
Yeah.
They are in, but more like in plain
I
sight.
knew
They're
one
there. You just don't
lesbian
realize.
girl in high
Yeah.
school. Only one.
I definitely feel like you can tell when someone is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, where I work.
Now it's hard, though, because now we're having a lot of, you know, hipster people coming in town and everything.
Yeah.
And they dress differently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, one thing is, you know what I think is pretty cool is that there are, where I do work, there are people that are part of that community, and we're actually all friends, and we can relate to each other about it, and it's like the good connections that we have. But no, like, even like when you said, like, people around here, there are people that I went to high school with, and I see them now, they're like engaged, like with like, it's like a girl and a girl, and I'm like, I'm so happy, because you're happy and you finally figured yourself out and you are proud of yourself.
Guys, let's talk about how many LGBT people are into astrology.
Don't even get me started.
Let's get into that.
No, I don't believe in zodiacs. I'm gonna put that out
really?
there. I don't. They're so
People
generalized.
follow
They
the
really
rule
are.
by it.
They're
I
so
don't know.
generalized. If you take one zodiac and you put it to yourself, even if it's not your own, you still relate to it. Like they're so general in the way they are. It's
I don't
meant
relate to a lot
to.
of other zodiacs. I think it's like the environment you're raised in, the people you're surrounded by, definitely. But at the end of the day, the zodiacs were given for a reason. I'm sorry we're getting into this, guys.
No, but the zodiacs do play a big role in the LGBTQ.
Yeah.
I will say there's many guys that have hit me up and they're like, "Oh, you're a Scorpio," or "Oh, just," because they'll see my Snapchat account. It's there. It's displayed.
Yeah. A lot of us do have our zodiac in our bio.
A lot of people stalk it, like, "Oh, let's see if we have a connection based off of Snapchat."
And it really also helps us, bring us together, because that's a whole nother different community.
It can, yes, it can bring you together in ways. I won't disagree there. To me, like when I've had so many people ask me though, like, "What's your zodiac?" "Oh, you're a Scorpio." "Oh, this and that." And it's like, dude, I don't really care. And then all of a sudden, you see how insecure they are about it, and they're like, "Oh, I don't care either." So why you ask?
Yeah. It's like, why there's so many people that are like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you. You're a Gemini, or you're like a Leo, or like you said, Pisces and all that stuff." And it's like, why base us on our zodiac signs?
So like, I think, zodiac along with other stuff, just it helps a lot of people find their niche group and kind of like feel like they belong in a group. And I think that's something a lot of LGBTQ struggle with, is trying to feel like you belong. Everyone wants to, feel like they fit in, but we're meant to all stand out, not to sound cliche or anything.
No,
But, everyone is meant to be their own person, and everyone's so stuck up about being like, "Oh, but I'm not going to be liked by these." In 10 years, it really won't matter. It really won't.
Yeah.
It won't matter.
And like, speaking of all that stuff, like another thing that a lot of us go through is like a lot of challenges.
Like how to make yourself approachable to others.
For sure. For me, I think it was a lot harder for people to approach me because I have a resting face.
Yeah, like that's what people would say to me. They were like people that I've seen like outside of school, they were like, "Oh, I'm always so scared to talk to you." I'm like, "Why?" They were like, "You look like you're gonna beat me up. Like, you look so intimidating." I said, "I am full of like sparkles and rainbows."
You are. And
Yeah.
for me, like everyone says I have that like extrovert and like very like happy and peaceful and
Yeah, you
innocent
definitely, when I
little.
first met you, were very joyful.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
still am, but the thing is, like, a lot of people don't understand. I'm an extroverted introvert. I have a social battery. I will only go out when I feel comfortable going out. I'm not out as much as I do post that I am. How I make myself approachable is by trying to make myself look like popular and all fashionista and stuff like that. Like I post a lot to try to put myself out there to make myself approachable, because I do want new people in my life. I do like making new friends.
Like you were talking about earlier, when you perceive yourself as a person. When I first met you, Jason, you asked me my pronouns right away. And I think that was very respectful. And that was the day like you and I became friends, because right away, right off the bat, you were like, "What are your pronouns?" So I don't misgender you.
I try to ask it in the beginning when I meet someone, because that first impression I make on people and people make on me is how I will see them, because it helps me respect you as a person, see you as a person, and value you as a person. And I hope that someone would do the same for me.
Now let's talk about advice. A lot of us haven't really gotten advice. We had to find our own. I feel like a good advice I've gotten from my cousin, meanwhile I was the first 3 months to come out, is to never be afraid of who you are. Like don't feel like underconfident just because you're different. It's always been okay if you're different, no matter skin color, hair color, ethnicity, likes, dislikes. Everybody has something different about them, and not everybody is the same.
Yeah, people are going to judge you. And
People are always going to judge you.
yeah, people judge
No matter
people.
what,
It's a
no
normal
matter
thing
who
in
you
life.
are. You just have to accept who you are and how you live your life, and don't let any of that
And,
negativity get
yeah, exactly.
to
And the
you.
people that love you will always love you.
And the people who are, just are there for certain things,
Get out
you'll
the door.
learn.
Goodbye. Like, yeah. Like how we love you. It's like
I love
we're
you
always going to be there for you no matter what.
For me, I never really got much advice. I didn't have figures I could look up to. I didn't have people around me and people in town that were out that I could look up to. So for me, like I said, I didn't really have friends. My friends were teachers, to say. when I was younger. Like I would always eat lunch with the teachers. I would talk with the teachers. I'd help the teachers out.
Was
We'd
there
build
any
a friendship.
particular teacher that
Oh
helped you?
yeah, so many. Like my 7th grade teacher, when I had come out, Miss Jones, I love her. I wish me and her were still in contact. She got married, and it was during the COVID year, so like we lost contact. And she doesn't. She moved towns, so she's no longer in the district.
What did she help you with during your time?
She like completely understood like a lot of what, not she, I wouldn't say she understood, but she helped me understand what I was going through, and like understand that what I was going through with the guys in the school, and the bullying and the harassment in the commons, and my at home stuff. And she would help, help me talk about it and listen about it and give her advice and just be there and be an ally. She had a flag in her room, and I remember, and I can name the kid who did it. I know. And he's still in the high school to this day, and still a reckless, insubordinate child who drew inappropriate drawings and words on the LGBTQ flag she had in her room. And oh my God, was she so offended the next day when she found out. She took it down, and she hated that she had to take it down. And she was like so stuck up on who did it and whatnot. I didn't know at the time who did it. I found out after.
Because I also think like their parents didn't
Educate
ever
them. They have this insecure idea
or
of
like
it.
introduce them to like there are people out there that are going to be different, that they might like different genders, but they're still just like you.
But I do think a lot of us, especially like our viewers who are just opening out and everything, they need a safe place. They need someone to talk to.
And that'll be us, yeah.
And that's what we're here for. That's why we're starting this. We want you guys to be open with us. We want you guys to be comfortable. We're telling our stories just for hoping you guys can share yours. Or, if you have any questions, or even, you're doubting yourself on something, reach out.
Yeah, because I think definitely like some of us, we can each give like a certain advice based on how we grew up, based on like you, Jason, and you, Neve, like how we all grew up differently, how like our parents perceived us or they looked at us, like.
And we all grew up in different households and
exactly,
different
yeah, it's
environments.
all different, but in one way or another, we do come together and we do relate on certain things. Sometimes it might not be easy, but we are here to help you guys become comfortable at least a little bit
One step at a time.
Yeah, exactly, one step at a time, and be happy with who you are, and you being you is okay.
And I do want to say that one step at a time doesn't necessarily mean it has to be one step at a time forward all the time. It could be 2 steps back. It could be 1 step back. It could be 2 steps forward. It's not always going to be positive.
And it's not always going to be easy.
And it's not always going to be easy. My biggest piece of advice that I can give is that, keep something that means so much to you at the top of your mind so that you can motivate yourself, even when it gets really dark, because it will get really dark, to push yourself through those moments. Because at the end of the day, if you don't push yourself, no one's going to push you for you. You have to do it yourself. So, with that, I can say experiment, because it's the only way you're going to know who you are and help yourself grow as a person. Experiment with what you like and what you don't like, and just learn and set those boundaries with not only yourself, but the people around you. That's most important, because you're never going to stop learning, believe it or not.
Every
Newsflash.
day you learn something new, I'm telling you.
So, another big thing we can talk about as well, how allies can contribute. It's not just about us struggling, but the people around us that can help us. And I think, for the people that are friends or teachers or peers or family members, the biggest way you can support someone is to just listen.
For sure.
Do not give them a small-minded opinion and try to make them feel small, because that's what happened with my parents. And obviously, look at me now, I'm pretty good. I still go through it, but I fight through it.
You have friends to support you through it.
I have my friends there that are there to say, yeah, it sucks right now, but it'll be better in a year. It'll be better in 2 years. Yeah. You have so much stuff to look for. So just, shrug it off and keep moving, because one day those people that do hate you will either continue to hate you and just be jealous, or actually learn to love you. And they will realize how much their hate ruined that connection with you. And they're going to want to come back and redo that connection and rebuild it and make it healthy and make it real and help you as a person. So to be an ally doesn't mean just to say, oh, I support the LGBTQ. Yeah. Well, how do you support it? What do you do? Oh, my friend's gay. That doesn't mean anything. Do you actively talk to your friend? Do you actively help them with finding out resources that will help them learn more? And do you educate yourself, because that's the best thing to do as an ally, is educate yourself. Educate yourself on the LGBTQ, on the transgender, on non-binary, on
Especially
queer.
how nowadays, like, everything is changing. Everything,
Every
like,
single day.
all of this new stuff is very new to me, and I believe Jeffree Star had actually first talked about this on one of his podcasts that I saw. And
I saw that.
it's true. Like, all of this is coming out, and it's new. Like, I don't technically agree with him when he says, oh, like, it's not really that important. Like, why are we creating all this new BS? I just think, now we have different things and groups that we all can actually fit into.
Yeah.
We're in a generation that is never ready for what the new generation keeps bringing. Every generation. But the world is never ready, and it will never, ever be ready if you do not give it that push. So that's why you see all these new groups arising every day and all this stuff coming out. I don't agree with the people that push themselves on other people. I definitely disagree with that. You should never try to push your beliefs on anyone. And
Exactly.
being someone who's, had my parents' religious beliefs try to push on me as a person and try to be the person that they believe, that they planned out for me to be, it sucks. So why would you ever want to do that to someone else? I do not push on other people that I'm gay. I do not push on other people that I like guys. I am who I am, simply that. And, when people are like, oh, you're being too out. Oh, I'm just being myself. Are you not comfortable with who you are? That you feel insecure around me? Are you not comfortable with your own style of clothes? And don't get me wrong, there are people that cannot financially and physically express themselves because of the areas they live in the society that they grew up with. And I completely feel sorry for them. And, being someone who has that privilege, I think I should use it because it will help other people to motivate them to do it. It will help other people that are closed-minded about it to open up about it. And that's why I do it. And I do it brightly as much as I do.
And just remember, not all of us, we never stay with our parents forever. We're always bound to, leave the nest. So it's okay. Like, if you feel as if you need to wait until you finally leave your home to become yourself, find that environment, find that group, find whatever makes you comfortable, and you do what you need to do to become a better person that you need to be.
Exactly. Like how we were talking about, educating more people, and it would be good to educate people, especially, once I educated my mom about all of this, and she even educated herself. She learned more about it.
And that's what an ally is.
I remember when she met Jason for the first time, and
this story.
and my mom was like, Jason,
I was scared.
do you have a girlfriend? And I looked at Jason, and I looked at my mom. I'm like, Mom, he's gay. And she was like, oh, it's okay. We will still love you, and I'm going to support you no matter what. So I feel like definitely my mom's one of the biggest allies.
I still do have those moments, like, do I want to come out to new people?
Yeah.
Like, it is, at work specifically, there are times where it's like, it's no one's business. It wasn't mine. I have this mindset of, if it's not important to that person, I don't care telling them. If they assume, oh, if I come in looking pissed off or upset, it's like, oh, girl problems?
I feel another thing about that is I feel as if you're in LGBT community, some people feel the need to tell everybody.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Not everybody needs to know.
Like, that's what happened with my life.
Even if you're already out, why are you outing the person more? It's not, let the person, they came to you to let you know.
Like, they trusted you.
If someone asked me, I would tell them.
Like, coming out is special, you guys. So make sure you're just doing it to the right group of people, and
yeah, make sure you
other
trust
people
them.
will eventually learn about it. Trust me, because nothing is ever a secret, you guys.
And on that note, thanks for joining us on the episode of The Queer Quarters. We hope our discussion on the complexities of coming out has resonated with you and shed light on the varied experiences within the LGBTQ community. Remember, coming out is a journey unique to each individual, and taking it one step at a time is completely valid. We're here to provide guidance, understanding, and unwavering support throughout.
Our goal at The Queer Quarter is to amplify the voices of every hue of queer, fostering a space where everyone feels heard and valued. So don't hesitate to share this podcast with anyone you might find solace or insight in our conversations. Together, we can create ripples of acceptance and understanding.
Stay connected with us on social media to stay updated on our latest episodes and join our vibrant community. Until we meet again, keep shining brightly in your truth, and remember, you're never alone in this journey. Keep embracing your uniqueness and continue being the incredible person you are. This is the Queer Quarter signing off.